it gets in recording mode when it goes on. Good morning and welcome to our Saturday morning flow. My name is Michelle and this practice is brought to you by Mercy Health's Stepping Out program. Taking nice cleansing breaths. We're going to go ahead and get started. So just find yourself in a comfortable seat, whatever feels good for you this morning. And we will start by finding our breath. Listen to the sound of your breath going in and out. And the idea is that as we focus on our breath, the other thoughts in our mind slowly starts to melt away. And if you need a little bit more conscious way to do that, you can picture each worry, each to-do thing, each list just going away with every single exhale, letting go, so that you can be here in this moment. Press both palms together at our heart center, and we'll let our chin sink to our chest. And set our intention for our practice today. Think about what brought you to your mat, or what you hope to get out of your time here today. And as we raise our head, we'll lower our hands down to the side, each side of us resting gently on the mat. Make sure both shoulders are relaxed and we can just feel the energy coming out of the crown of our head. And pay attention to your body. Do you have any aches or pains this morning? Are you holding tension in any of your hips, in your back? How do you feel this morning? Be mindful of your body and where you're going to need a little bit of extra attention or love or grace. And let's go ahead and start with our breath. So we're going to inhale the hands up, then exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And as we exhale down, we'll bring those fingertips to our shoulders. We'll start with a gentle twist. Come to stillness as we reach center. And let the left hand come down to our mat, and the right hand is going to reach up for the center here. Feel that stretch in our right side, and continue that length in our right side as we gently fall towards the left, keeping those shoulders in line with each other or stacked. Keep both sits bones anchored to the earth. And as we come back up through center, we'll let that right arm come all the way around, wrapping around our back, and the left hand will find that right knee, and we'll look over the right shoulder in a little bit more intense spinal twist than we did when we went back and forth. As we release the bind, we're gonna have both hands out in front and go ahead and walk forward. And as you exhale, sink those elbows towards the earth. And just relax as you exhale, let go. Walk those hands back to our body so we can come into our seat. And then we're gonna switch which foot is in front. Inhale both hands up. Let them once again come down to our shoulders. Spinal twist here. Slow down, finding center. Right hand will come down to our mat. Left hand reaches straight up. Feel that lengthening in our left side. And slowly reach over towards the right. Pulling back up through center, left hand will reach back behind our back. The right hand will reach for the left knee. Look over that left shoulder. Releasing our bind, both hands will walk out in front of us. And we exhale, sink towards the earth, and let go. Walk both hands back up, sitting up nice and tall. We'll extend the right leg out, and then the left. Coming into a wide-legged seat. Back's nice and straight, so you feel yourself rolling forward in your pelvis here. Feel those, the hip socket. Get our stretch in there. You can feel our inner thighs, all kinds of muscles activating just from sitting here. As we flex the toe on the right side, we're gonna pull that knee in. And as we expand and point, we're gonna do the opposite leg. Flex, pull it in, expand, point, flex, pull it in, expand, point, flex, expand, flex, expand. One more each side. And again, we're gonna walk those hands out in front of us. Keep that straight back at first. Feel that energy continuing out of the crown of our head. And then you can slowly start to sink those elbows as far as feels comfortable, so you're more relaxed in our back here. And just melt towards the earth, letting go with every breath. Walk our hands back up so we can come up nice and tall. Pull both feet in so we can come to our cobbler pose. Back still nice and straight. If you want to hold on to those big toes, you can. or if it's more comfortable this morning for your ankles or your shins, whatever feels good. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more movement in our hip sockets. Flutter like our butterflies. Good. All right, let's go ahead. And we'll swing both legs underneath us, and we're going to come to our tabletop or all fours. So think about knee to hip and our wrist to our shoulder. And it's okay if, obviously we don't have mirrors, so we don't know for sure. So what you go by is honestly, does it feel like you're doing that stacked? And as long as you feel like you're in a good position, then you're being honest to your body. Keep those fingers spread as wide as you can and try to press into that ring finger and your pinky, and that's where we get some of the pressure off of our wrist. As we straighten our arms, try to press the elbow creases towards the front. Get that rotation going and pressing out of the shoulders. As we press into the tops of our feet, we get those glutes engaged and our hamstrings engaged. And always pull in that core. As we inhale, we'll drop to our cow pose, opening up our chest. And then we'll exhale into cat, tuck that tailbone in, tuck the chin in, arch that back up. And just go back and forth, following your natural breath, listening to your body. See if you need more time in a spot or you need a little bit of extra motion. Go ahead and finish one more set, and we'll all meet in a neutral spine. Big breath in, breath out. Extend the right foot out, and we're going to press into the heel, lengthening that right leg out. Come back to our tabletop. Left leg out, stretch into that heel. And back to tabletop. Now we're going to continue into that cat-cow breath, but adding motion here. So as we inhale, and our back is arching, we're going to actually bring our hips back to our heels. And then as we exhale and arch, we're going to come back up to tabletop. So inhale, come back. Exhale, move back up to tabletop. Inhale, rock your hips back. Exhale, return to tabletop. Inhale. Exhale. And one more set. We're going to extend that right leg out. Press into that heel. Release the stretch, and this time lift the leg up. Really make sure that we have our hips square to the earth. This is the same posture we take when we're doing our three-legged dog. in that we want to keep that hip square to the earth, so get used to that sensation. We're going to draw that knee in towards our chest and swing that foot all the way through. We're going to really look at our fundamentals today to get some of these poses that we just flow through normally. So check that knee to ankle. Make sure that we have a nice solid base here. And then pay attention to that back leg, that left knee. See if you can scooch it back a little bit, or maybe move the right foot forward and get a good stretch, opening up that hip flexor muscle on the left side. Now see how heavy we are on our fingers. And we've talked about this of the last few weeks. See if we can pull up so that we're light on our fingers and we're not just collapsed onto our legs here. And we have our core engaged. How about that base leg? Is it rocking out at all, or is it staying up nice and tall? We're going to tuck those toes. Keeping the fingers light, can we lift that back knee? Go ahead and release the back knee. And we're going to bring that right foot back to our tabletop. Extend the left leg out, stretch out the back of that leg. We're going to lift the leg up, check our hips, make sure they're nice and square to the earth. Draw that knee into our chest, and we're going to go ahead and swing that foot through. Checking the knee to the ankle alignment. Open up that hip flexor. And again, we're going to make sure that we're square and that we don't find ourselves rotating it. So maybe even think about pulling back the left hip so that our hips are still square even though we're open here. And then come up light on our fingertips. Toes. See about coming up to a low lunge. Good job. Coming back. We'll bring that foot back. And we're going to roll down to our mat, keeping those elbows pressed in. And with those hands underneath our shoulders, we're going to press into our cobra. As we press into the cobra, really pay attention to our shoulders and our elbows. Think about that back. It should still be a nice extension. And we look up. And go ahead and float back down. Take a breath. Inhale back up, maybe a little higher. Seeing what your back can do. And back down. And one more up. And back down. Press back through to our tabletop. Keeping our fingers so that they're on the outside of our mat, we're going to pivot our hand a little bit so that the thumb is actually pointing to the top of the mat. And our pinkies are touching the outside of our mat. So our hand is rotated a little bit. Our elbow crease then is probably a little bit more naturally pointing to the front. We're gonna tuck those toes under, lift those hips, and come to our downward facing dog. Now to make it a little bit more weird, to get a little bit of a different stretch, think of pigeon-toed. I want your toes to be inward and your heels outward. And we're gonna get an inside rotation in our hips here. So our ears are still in between our arms. Everything else is still the same for downward dog. We have our arms rotating out, our legs rotating in. And go ahead and walk those feet up to your hands. You can hang out here for a moment, letting the head heavy. Your choice if you want to grasp opposite elbows. Release the hands and we're going to roll up to our mountain pose. Imagine that energy flowing down our backs, having that tailbone tucked in, up our fronts, all four corners of our feet, equal weight. Our thighs are engaged, our core is pulled in, shoulders are pressed down and back, our chin is tucked under a little. Our head is drawn back. So we're going to inhale our hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to just a nice normal downward facing dog. Whatever feels comfortable. Lower your hips to a plank. So really have that core strong. You can always go to your half plank if you're not ready for plank this morning. Lower down to your mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Press through your plank. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale halfway up to a flat back. Keep our gaze down so we can keep our neck in alignment here. Really lengthening out, keeping that back straight. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And bring our hands to our heart center. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to our downward facing dog. Lower our hips to our plank. Lower to your mat with an exhale. Inhale, up to cobra. Exhale, back down to your mat. Press through your plank. Lift those hips up, downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply, look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And bring our hands to our heart center. Step back, downward facing dog. Shifting our weight to our left side, we'll raise that right foot, three-legged dog. Think about the pelvis, foot flexed. Draw that knee into our chest. Swing the foot through to come to a low lunge. We'll drop that back knee. And we'll lift up to a crescent. As we bring our arms back down, we're gonna pivot that left foot. And we're gonna come up. This is a different kind of encouragement this morning. We're gonna come up to our right, lower our right forearm onto our right thigh. And that left arm's gonna come either straight up or you're gonna reach over. Now when we're here, we're thinking about our extended side angle. So take that left hand, hold onto your ribs here, and really open up the ribs. So you picture or imagine yourself opened up, and that's how we are when we're in that extended side angle. All right, both hands can come down. Rotate that foot back. We will lift that back knee up so we're in our low lunge. Right foot comes back into downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our right foot, left foot raises, three-legged dog. Oop, watch that pelvis. Knee to chest. Swing that foot all the way through, coming to our low lunge. Drop the back knee, and lift up to our crescent lunge. Both hands come down. We'll pivot that right leg. And as we come up, the left hand, forearm rests on the left thigh. And let's start first just by bringing that right hand to our hip so we can feel that opening. Draw the fingers across the rib cage, and then we can bring that hand up and over. Both hands come down. Straighten that right foot out. Lift up that back knee into our low lunge. Left foot comes back to meet the right. Come into a plank here. Rotate, like push your weight forward so your weight comes in front of your hands before lowering down to your mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale back down to your mat. Press through your plank, lift those hips up, downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply, look to the top of your mat, make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. We'll bring our hands to our heart center. Mountain pose. Okay, inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to downward facing dog. As we shift our weight to our left foot, right foot raises, three-legged dog. Knee to chest. We're gonna come into a warrior two. So as you swing your foot through, we'll rotate the back foot so that it's parallel to the short end of our mat. Cartwheel the arms up. Coming into warrior two. Our body should be nice and equal in the center. Arms should be level with each other. And watch that front knee. Make sure it doesn't rotate in. Make sure it stays in line with our ankle. Again, we'll bend that right arm. Let it rest on that front thigh. And we can start with our left hand on our waist. Draw our fingers across our rib cage to open us up. That left hand will come through center and maybe over and across. Just keep the shoulders open. And that's really, really important if you want to go to level two. Those shoulders have to be able to stay open. So if you find yourself collapsing when you come down here, then we need to stay up in level one. Go ahead and bring that left hand down. We'll come to our low lunge. And that right foot will come back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Shift our weight to the right foot, left foot raises, three-legged dog. Knee to chest. Swing that foot through, rotating our right foot. And cartwheel those arms up. Woo. Warrior two. The shoulders. Bend that left arm, resting it on our front thigh. Right hand on our hip. Drag those fingertips across the ribs. Feel that opening up. Right hand is up. And maybe all the way over your head. Go slowly and test yourself. See if you can do level two. As you lower, are you able to keep those shoulders open? And we will cartwheel our hands down, coming to a low lunge, and go into a vinyasa flow. So that left foot comes back to meet the right. Plank. Shift your weight forward, lower down to your mat. Inhale up to cobra. Back down to your mat. Press through your plank. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Moving our hands to our heart center. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll step back to a downward facing dog. Lower both knees to the mat. Cross your ankles. We're going to shift our weight to our bottoms. And we'll come to the center of our mat. So just like when we drive our cars for so long, some of those rules and laws that we learn, we get our shortcuts and we do it. We're still driving safe, but we're not necessarily doing it correctly. So sometimes it's good to practice, slow down in our practice, and just go back to the fundamentals. Take our time, remember what our body's supposed to do, make it slow down. So this practice today, that was my intention. I hope I didn't bore you guys, but just to remember some of those fundamentals. So let's go ahead and extend both feet out in front of us. I didn't forget our staff pose. I was just saving it for the last. Save the best for last. Backs are nice and tall and straight. We'll flex those toes so the heels come off the earth. And as we relax the legs, we'll fold forward gently. Exhale, melting towards the earth, just letting go. As we roll back up to a seated position, we'll draw the right leg in with us. Let it cross over the left leg. Hug it in with that left arm. Right hand behind us as we look over the right shoulder. Good spinal twist to end our practice. As we release our spines, we'll let that knee open up. Draw that left foot into us. The closer that foot comes to your body, the deeper the stretch will be. And then we push our upper body into those thighs. Since we've been working our hip flexor today, let's stretch it out and relax it. And as we release, we're going to go into the double pigeon. So we'll let that base leg open up, and then our top leg, we're going to let stay stacked on top of the base leg. So whatever that looks like for you. And see, since I'm at the side, you can see how my knees actually stay pretty high up. So you're just going for your legs to be on top of each other, wherever that ends up being. If you are at your feet being the two that can only be together, that's fine. And if you're able to slowly move them further up, that's good. Hopefully you can feel that in your hips, or if you're like me and you have arthritis in your ankles, you feel it there too. And let's breathe. And we can open up those arms. Left arm will come up, right arm down. Let's reach the right arm up our back and pat yourself on the back of that left hand. See if you can find your fingertips back there. And once you've found your position, get that back up nice and straight again. Open cow face with our arms, double pigeon with our legs. Release the arms, and if you want to deepen your double pigeon a little bit, you can walk the hands out and try to fold forward. Woo. There's the hips. All right, come forward, and let's straighten those legs back out. All right, we'll pull that left leg in, let it cross over. Hug it with that right arm, and we'll look over that left shoulder. Spinal twist on the opposite side. as we release, let that left knee open up. Draw the right foot towards our body. Again, the closer you get it, the deeper your stretch. And press your upper body towards your thighs. As you release, let that bottom leg open up. And just slide the top leg over, coming into your double pigeon on this side. And breathe. I forgot to mention on the other leg, remember we try to make sure our hips are square when we're sitting here. We don't want our spine to get all wonky or out of alignment. So that's what you're protecting here. Make sure those hips are okay, and then do what you can with your legs. And arms up, we'll bring that right arm up, the left arm back, reach that left arm up, and pat yourself on the back with the right. See if those hands can touch. Pull that upper back up and look forward. Maybe smile, you're almost done. You did a good job. And as we release, once again, we'll try, if you want, you can fold forward in your double pigeon. Roll back up to your seated position. Untangle those legs. We'll let them come in front of us, and we'll just do a gentle windshield wiper. All right. Straighten those legs out in front of us. And we're going to roll down to your mat. However you want to do that is perfect for you. So we're going to bend that right leg up so that the knee is just parallel. Not parallel, perpendicular, my math people. Straight up from the hip. We've been doing a lot of that with our tabletop, so we're going for that. Both arms will be out to our sides in a T, and we're gonna let that right knee fall all the way across our body, and then re-anchor the shoulders. Now let's go ahead and reach down and rub out that hip a little bit. It's a good position to do this in, and again, we worked our hip flexors really hard today, so. Give it a little massage. And if you want, you can look over the right shoulder. Head comes up, go ahead and roll all the way onto your back. We'll straighten out that right leg and draw the left leg up. Again, find that tabletop type of position with the leg. And let the left leg fall across the body. And we'll start by reaching down and giving that hip a massage. Again, this is kind of where you see which side of your body is more flexible, or because one side it feels so good on, and the other side you're like, okay, I kind of don't really need it too much. But still do it. It's good. Straighten that arm out, anchoring both shoulders, and maybe looking over the left shoulder. Head comes up, we'll rock all the way to our back, and draw that right arm up. Right arm. I'm tired. Your right leg. So we have both legs up. Walk those heels as close to our sits bones as possible. Those arms are actually going to come alongside our bodies, and we're going to go into that supported bridge. So slowly start peeling the hips up off of your mat towards the ceiling. And then we're going to roll back down, picturing one vertebrae making contact at a time. Tilt the pelvis at the end. And then we're going to straighten out first one leg and then the other. Cleansing breath in. And a cleansing breath out. We're coming into the Shavasana portion of the practice. We begin with a body scan, and then you just allow yourself to lie in this stillness and this quiet that you've worked so hard to attain for just a few moments. So we'll start by relaxing our toes. Work that relaxation up through the feet. Allow your calves to relax. And let go of any tension in the thighs. Breathe as you feel any stress in the hips just melt away. As we release the core, feel yourself just grow heavier into your mat. Imagine melting into the earth. Relax the hands. Feel the tension just melt out of the arms, leaving them heavy. Breathe relaxation into the shoulders. Releasing the tension in the neck and jaw. Relax the muscles of the face. And imagine pressing all of our stress all of our tension out of the crown of our head.